Hello, everyone. Let's get our webinar started here. We're just getting set up. Crazy day in the market here today. It's a good day to be talking about news because it's news that's moving the market right now. CPI or PCE report on US inflation running hot again. US dollar breaking out highs of the year against the euro, commodity currencies, yen, sterling still holding on for now, but very precariously. So, we can talk about what's actually happening in the news, but we're also going to talk about news itself and how to trade news. That's going to be the theme of today's webinar. I'll give people a little bit of a second to settle in and to show up. It's going to be, we'll do about 30 minutes and then we'll get to Q&A. I'm happy to talk about what's happening now, what I think about what's happening now, and a lot of the angst that's in the market right now. Some pretty big moves happening right now. S&P 500 futures down about 1.2%. And, I love trading the market live, talking about the market live. It is what we do. So happy to get into that as well. But we'll start with a little bit about me. You know me, ForexLive, thousands and thousands of posts in ForexLive, just trading news for a living, watching news, reading news, up to date on everything, what's happening, what it matters and what really doesn't matter, which is part of the art of trading news. So there's a bit about me. And I think, I'm not going to linger too long. People can pick up as we go along, and I don't want to waste time and I don't want to waste your time. So let's get into what we're talking about with news. And I think it fits into today and what's driving these kind of market moves is you have this chaos in the market. And ever since the pandemic, you can see it elevated that you have this uncertainty in markets. It's a different economy. People try to overlay charts and say, oh, when the manufacturing PMI falls this much, you always have a recession, or the yield curve inverts. But the pandemic changed a lot of things. It changed behaviors. So it changes correlation. So overlaying those charts doesn't work. And you have to think about things in a different way. And you also have a lot of uncertainty. I mean, we gravitate to certainty, but news is uncertainty. And as we saw today, or with the Ukraine war, or with COVID, or a million other things that are happening in the world, you get this chaos, but the chaos is the opportunity to make money in markets, to think things through. Chaos creates fear, and fear creates opportunity in markets. So the one point I do want to make is that you see opportunities come, and a lot of times you'll tee up opportunities months in advance. You'll start to see something coming, and somehow you'll still miss it. And that creates all kinds of problems with revenge trading, chasing, FOMO. You have to stay in the game. The name of the game with news trading is patience, and trading in general is patience. So don't blow up is the best advice. It's to wait. It's to not do something stupid is really how you make money in markets. And there are a million pitfalls, and we're going to talk about those maybe in different webinars. But with news, you have to remember that there's always going to be another trade, that it is going to come again, whatever it is that you missed. And it is obvious in hindsight that, you can see, take the Ukraine war, oil rallied. I mean, buy oil on the day of the war's outbreak. I mean, it seems so obvious in hindsight, but it's all very, very easy in hindsight in markets. So, right now the market is changing. We are seeing more of an emphasis on news, and I love it. You're seeing it today. Economic data, it all matters so much. But let's talk about techniques. So number one, it's just simple. A lot of things in trading and life are simple, and it's pay attention. I mean, you have to stay on top of the news if you want to trade the news. You have to know what is a market mover. You have to know which news to read. There are people, and I think that the environment that we're in right now, it emphasizes a lot of exaggeration and fear. Fear, if you look on Twitter, the tweets that end up in your timeline are exaggerated. We're headed to this kind of crash. It's this sort of disaster. Negative news is elevated. But number one is stay on top of that. You have to take that kind of thing in stride and understand that is how the news game works. with news, and you like something like today, you have to anticipate and game plan as well. Okay, if CPI is this hot, or PC inflation today, what do I do? How far do I think it can go? What levels am I watching? I'm watching the Australian dollar right now. It broke the 200-day moving average on this. The dollar is taking off on this. Am I going with that, or am I fading it? Do I want to wait till the end of the day? Those are questions you really should ask and answer for yourself before the news comes out. And also, you try to sequence things and look at the calendar. I mean, the economic calendar for me is the most invaluable tool, because you can see what's coming up. You can see the next theme that the market will be worried about. So the next central bank decision, the next data point. And going along with that, you can write things down. I mean, that you have to hold yourself accountable in markets. By writing things down, you say, okay, I expected CPI to be strong or to be weak. Here's why. Has that changed something in particular? So when you're trading the news, always, you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to have some conviction, and you have to absolutely stay on top of it. You're not going to ever be able to know what a game changer is without knowing what's happening right now.